Aloha. Get a nice look at the wall. The wall of truth. Truths. You gotta be able to laugh about it, folks. It's serious shit, and that's what I feel. But that's it. It's on the wall. That's all I'm gonna do. Although I'm prepared for more. But so we gotta do this tune by Corb Lund. Right there. And he is Corb Lund, and his band is called the Fightin Albertans. He's a Western singer. And for those of you who may have heard, country and Western music, I don't know if they use that term too much, but there is actually a difference. As the bartender in the Blues Brothers says, we got both kinds, country and Western. And what Western music is, and it's more or less my definition, I guess, but they sing about ranching and horses and whiskey and being out on the cattle drives and stuff. Like, they sing about being a cowboy and shit, and it's totally different than what they do in Nashville, And that shit. And yeah, let's not waste our time talking about modern country music. But then you got this nice, the Cowboy Poetry Festival. And I still get I'm still on their mailing list. That's this year's coming up. And it is in Elko, Nevada. That's how you say it, Nevada. It's not Nevada. Like, Oregon is Oregon. Gun at the end. But anyway, Elko, Nevada. Did I say it right? That's So I used to work on the road quite a bit, which the work was never all that enjoyable, but being on the road was wonderful. And I spent about 2 years of my life in Utah, which is an awesome state. And it's even better if you don't have to live there, because I remember my first job was in a place called Riverdale, Utah. And I'd never been there, never been out. I've been to Boulder, Colorado. My brother lived there. But I remember I just had this image of it being like Lord of the Rings, Riverdale. I thought there was going to be like sparkling waterfalls and like little houses with thatched roofs and elves and stuff. But then you get there and Utah is fucking, no offense to Utahns, but I was shocked about the general degradation of the society. It was like a bad city in Florida, which is where I live now. And I mean, everybody smoke. I've never seen more people smoke. Like, my first thing, I just had this thing that I kind of would start saying and talking to people on the job, say, when you come out of the womb, they must slap you on the butt and throw a cigarette in your mouth. I was shocked because you hear about the Mormons, and I just thought it would be Shangri-La or whatever. And I was just shocked at how fucking trashy it is, the people. No offense. I don't mean that they're bad, but there's a lot of crime, and it's a gritty place. So I was just shocked by that. And I've never been in Provo. I think I may have been on a store right off I-10 there or whatever it is, but or 5, I forget what one it is. 15 maybe. And Provo is like the heart of the Mormon crap, so maybe that's more, it's probably like, I'm from Massachusetts, it's probably like being in Dover or Wellesley or something. Which that's not a compliment to any of those places. So Elko, Nevada. Nevada? Yeah, that's a tough one. It's a simple name and it's tough to remember. It's Nevada. So I apologize for trying to get that down. But Elko, Nevada is not far over the line. Utah's over here, Salt Lake. And you go through the Bonneville Salt Flats, you're kind of right around in that area. So it wasn't far. And and Bing Crosby had a ranch in Elko for many, many years and spent a lot of time there. He's from Spokane, Washington. I also been to the Bing Crosby Theater in Spokane. Saw David Lindley there and Jake Shimabukuro. Good times. Bought my Gresh at the Guitar Center in Spokane. But so I go out to this cowboy poetry. So here's how it started. And here's what's wonderful. And I could go on for days, tangents on this little story. So I'm reading, a big fan of Doug Somm, who's from Texas, SAHM, highly recommended, Texas Tornadoes. And I'm reading about that, and I see this name Max Baca, B-A-C-A, and he plays the Bajo Sexto, which is that huge Mexican instrument, acoustic, but it's like giant. But I see that he played on the Stones Voodoo Lounge. So now I see this cowboy poetry thing, and I go online looking at the schedule. I see Los Tex Maniacs, which is Max Baca's band. And I'm like, well, that's fucking cool. I'll check that out. And Ramblin' Jack Elliott, he was playing. And Tom Russell, a great songwriter. And some damn good music as well. And he was there. And also they have guys who just recite poems about like cattle and horses and being on the cattle drives and stuff. Just a fascinating thing. And also Elko, it wasn't, everybody there wants to be there, you know? And so it wasn't overly crowded. So I didn't have tickets like the Los Tex Maniacs I got into. And then it was in like a school cafeteria sort of thing. It was awesome. And talking with all the people in the band. Look, Max Baca comes over. I start chatting with them. And I had just been through Austin, Texas, on the way out there. And I had stopped at the Lucky Lounge where Ian McLaughlin played free shows every Thursday. And he's from the Faces, the Small Faces, you know, British band. Played with the Stones, Bob Dylan. And just great roots. He lived in Austin for a while, and he just played good roots music. Unfortunately, he died not long after this. Just a heart attack. Shame. Little guy, little munchkin, little elfin sort of British guy. But I had a nice picture with him, and I'm talking with Max Baca, who's from Austin as well, I guess, or lives there. And he's like, I got a picture with Ian too, and he breaks out his phone, shows me. It was great. I didn't show him mine, I don't think. That's... But, so that was cool. That was very cool. And so then I go over, Ramblin' Jack Elliott, you know, goes right back to the early days, Woody Guthrie and Bob Dylan. And just a raconteur, you know, some kid from, I believe he grew up in New York City, a Jewish kid, and he just became Ramblin' Jack Elliott, just decided he wanted to. And he's legit, you know. So that was sold out, but I ended up getting a ticket, and I'm in there, and this was like 2012 or 13. So the smartphones were pretty new, and I'm in there, and it's not the type of show I like because it was really quiet. I don't like that. I'm not a fan. If you go in and like moving around makes people turn at you, fuck you, you know? That ain't, sorry, not into that. Being silent at a show, if you need us to be silent, it's probably because you suck. Although I don't mean that to you, Ramblin' Jack. But anyway, I took a couple pictures and he singled me out. Because it was like 80 people in there, baby. And he singled me out. He didn't know who did it, but he's like, whoever's doing that, please stop. Because it breaks my concentration. But that's how quiet it was. Like the little sound was annoying him. So and then I go to the Tom Russell show. I might have stayed over, and I can't remember if this was all one day. But I go and see Tom Russell. I talk to him after the show, and he signs. I bought his like a book of like his lyrics, and he wrote this awesome song, Haley's Comet, with Dave Alvin, and it's just a great tune. Like, go and check that one out, and it's kind of rap. You know, it's Haley's Comet, but it's kind of about Bill Haley, and Rock Around the Clock, and it's just a great tune. Great tune. I've been trying to play it, but it's a tough one to play because it's like one chord thing. So we'll revisit that one hopefully because the lyrics are great. So then the late night show is this guy Corb Lund, and that's kind of the shit kicker. And I go in there, and these fucking guys were awesome. And it's rock and roll, and his guitarist playing a Telecaster, Grant Siemens, he was just unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. Fucking up and down the neck, the bending chords. It was blah. It was just like, that's why you do this shit right there. You know, I'd kind of heard of these other people, and then Corb Lund comes out of nowhere, and boom. So, just dug that. Oh, I also saw Wiley in the West, which in Wiley is this dude. He does the yodel for Yahoo. I think they've gotten rid of it, but he's like a champion yodeler. And that was in like a school cafeteria, like with like 8-foot ceilings, and it was like these people in their 60s and 70s, like real cowboys with their wives dancing. It was an experience. But he does a great version of the Rolling Stones' "Rip This Joint," kind of in a Western. It's worth checking out. Very good music. Very, very good music. So, and that was, it was just awesome. You know, I still listen to Corb Lund and Wiley in the West regularly. You know, it's just great shit. So, just a revelation. And so, Corb Lund, and he's playing November 2nd in Medford, Massachusetts. For you, Tobe, I think you should check that out. But funnily enough, he's playing in Florida, up in like very close to me on November 12th. But I have a Bonnie Raitt tickets in St. Augustine that Saturday, and that'll probably be the last big concert I ever go to. Expensive. It's a great amphitheater out there in St. Augustine. But the next night, Corb Lund's playing in a club in Jacksonville, which is only like 20 minutes up the road. So I'll be staying Saturday and go and see Corb Lund again. Which is just the whole serendipityness of all that is great. Just how that worked out. And he's playing another show the next night, and I'll be over there. It was just great. That's always a good sign. So I'm going to do this tune by Corb Lund called Old Men, which not to be confused with Old Man, obviously. But funnily enough, on the Old Man subject, Neil Young, that's a song I never even thought about playing. Never even tried playing it because you hear it enough. You just don't. There's 400 other great songs that you can play that you want other people to know that about. He does these too. But anyway, I've been watching Neil on YouTube, a lot of his bridge school stuff where he plays acoustic, and he was doing Old Man, you know, like every show, and I just started playing it, and it's just fun to play. I think enough times passed where and I don't listen to any radio, so I can kind of do it. But and I got this this is my GS Mini Koa Taylor. Just an awesome guitar. It's like 3/4 of a regular guitar, but the sound is just awesome. But just a fun guitar here. So that's why I'm sitting down. I don't have a strap on it. So this is called Old Men. And I kind of, you know, he doesn't do no harmonica, and I made this my own, you know. And I don't completely know the words, but I'm just excited, and I wanted to kind of get this out there and just talk about shit. So this is called Old Men. When it comes to fixing fence, riding bulls and drinking beer, give me some young buckaroo that's kinda wet behind the ears. 'Cause I'll take fire in the belly, and if he's a little green, hell, sometimes this and vinegar is exactly what you need. But I want old men making my whiskey. I want old men singing my blues. And I want old men teaching my horses. 'Cause there's just some things young men can't do like the old boys do. I want some scrappy kid to have my back in the middle of a barroom fight. And a little youth will kinda help sometimes with the girls on a Friday night. When I was but a young man, I was wild and full of fire. Acid trips and rocker chicks, I'm lucky I'm I want old men making my whiskey. I want old men singing my blues. And I want old men educating my horses. 'Cause there's just some things young men can't do like the old boys do. Old man making my whiskey. I want old man singing my blues. And I want old man teaching my horses. 'Cause there's just some things young men can't do like the old boys do. Should check that out someday if you get the chance. A unique experience.